Hello everyone and welcome to Games, Comics and Crafts. So today we're going to talk about Saturday Morning Adventures of Dungeons & Dragons. This is the second series I believe, which is following on from classic cartoons, first one being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and this one being the 80s cartoon of Dungeons & Dragons, which I was a big fan of when I was a kid. I was playing basic D&D at the time, so this was a perfect cartoon to go along with that. So that being said, I must say I had a little bit of reservations when it was first announced, because if you're doing a cartoon series of adaptation, you make the artwork theoretically look like the cartoon. As we flick through this, the artwork is nothing like the cartoon. The TMNT book, I believe, took great pains to make it look like the cartoon. This one though looks like Dungeons & Dragons or generic fantasy stuff. It's not terrible, it's just a big disappointment that they didn't actually keep the original look and feel of the actual cartoon itself. There will be spoilers for this comic, so that being said, let's talk a little bit about what actually happens in this. So, nothing is the answer to that. Nothing really happens. There's some monsters show up right at the beginning of the book, which we're not quite sure what they are. They might be drow, but I don't think so. We introduced of the actual characters by name and class, as it were. We get to see Dungeon Master turn up, who I don't know if he's been missing for a long time or if it's just like 5 minutes after the last adventure or whatever, but it seems to suggest that as you read through here that the kids have been in the realms for quite a while. They don't seem to have aged very much. Now, the realms being, of course, in the original cartoon, it was just called the Realm of Dungeons & Dragons. There was a book later on called Grand Tour of the Realms, which had Presto apparently trying to get a apprenticeship from Elminster, which kind of established the fact that possibly these were in the Forgotten Realms, but unless they made their way there. But how that would fit with the original cartoon stories fitting into the Forgotten Realms is quite impossible. But the Forgotten Realms are actually name dropped by 2 or 3 characters within the first few pages. So this is definitely Forgotten Realms, as in Waterdeep, as in D&D movie, as in other books that have come out obviously recently. So we get a little bit of reminiscing about stuff we've not actually seen before. We apparently Diana has managed to get hold of some druidic powers, possibly. Presto has found his soulmate, but that's literally one panel. We don't know who they are. They don't apparently appear to be part of the stories in the original cartoon stories. We see another defeat Avenger, and then some monsters show up. Possibly some drow spider driders, not too sure. Some dark mantles, a few other things, and then there's a portal shows up for no apparent reason, and the kids decide to jump for it because it might take them home, although it could have just been obviously the portal that brought the monsters to them. As they go through it, we get a little bit of extra 2-pager thingy, and they end up just outside Waterdeep, ready to be in the D&D movie, highly likely. Now, when I first flicked through this, I thought this was the way of getting the kids from the original Dungeons & Dragons world to the Forgotten Realms, but obviously we've name dropped the Forgotten Realms, so that's it. Don't know what's going on there, but yeah, we're here, we're ready at Waterdeep, and that's pretty much it. There's no character pieces, none of the characters really say anything of interest. There's no kind of dramatic standoff. We see Dungeon Master appears for literally a panel and then disappears. No Venger, nothing else. That's it. It's not a lot of going on at all. Now, how this fits in with the Forgotten Realms, again, I don't really know. The idea that Venger, Dungeon Master and Tiamat are permanently running around all day, every day in the realms is just crazy. Tiamat especially being part of the first ever adventure that came out for 5th edition, being the Rise of Tiamat, would kind of explain that she's kind of rare in the realms, not just something that happens to lollop about and get locked in in rooms and stuff all day. Anyway, yeah, it's okay in itself. It's okay. There ain't a lot going on. Will I pick up the other issues? Highly likely, because I like the cartoon characters, I like that, whatever. Presumably, obviously, they're going to lose their weapons at some point, which again, they've got a backstory as well that obviously ties in massively to the cartoon rather than the realms itself. Will we see Venger? Possibly. Will they somehow manage to explain why Bobby in the movie looks like Sean Penn from Fast Times at Ridgemont High rather than a 9-year-old kid? Don't know. But all in all, it was okay, but I wouldn't say it was massively important and interesting. It would have probably been better if something else had happened. Maybe, combat, a plot, Venger, defeating Venger, whatever. But immediately we get straight to Waterdeep. Who knows what's going to happen there? Anyway, let's see what happens with issue 2, and I'll check it out and I will hopefully let you all know. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye bye.